Hey, I hope you're having a great Tuesday afternoon. My name is Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. It's the first time I feel like it's been months since I've been able to say this, but we've generally got a pretty calm forecast for the Denver area, really over the next week or so. It's not until kind of middle part of next week that things start to look maybe a bit more interesting. But for the next week or so, we've got pretty tranquil weather. I will say we do have a risk for some stronger storms tomorrow on the far eastern plains. I was actually taking kind of a deep dive into that, and I'll get into more details on that in just a few minutes. It is windy, I know, for us in the foothills, northern Colorado. We've had some gusts even up into the 50-mile-an-hour range up by Fort Morgan. Generally speaking, we're talking about a lot of 35 to 40 or so mile-an-hour winds. So breezy, windy, right on that precipice between those two, but probably closer to windy for a lot of us. So the good news is those winds will relax over the next couple of hours. So those are my two main takeaways right now: windy in the foothills and some of those storms tomorrow. Otherwise, calm weather for the most part over the next few days. Here in Denver, we've missed out on the winds. If you're joining me from downtown Denver, myself included, I'll be honest about this. I got quite a few people telling me on Twitter how windy it was up in the northern foothills. It's kind of how I found out, was because here in Denver, those winds have been very, very calm. So when I stepped outside a few minutes ago, I was like, oh, wow, it's pretty nice out here. But thanks to some of you on Twitter for sending those reports, because I know that it is windy up into Boulder and the foothills, and we'll have more on that in the next few minutes. Otherwise, warm and dry today, some storms tomorrow, cooler for Thursday. Right now, HC Doppler radar on the quiet side. We've had a few flakes for us here into the foothills. Those are long over and done with. Not expecting really much of which to speak about over the next few hours. Just breezy at times for us, but those winds, again, have been a bit of an issue. Might notice in the northeast plains, Greeley, 29-mile-an-hour wind, 33 up in Akron, 32 in Kremling, and a closer look in here at the forecast we had over the next few hours. I'm actually going to slow this down for you just a little bit so you have a better idea. So really over the next hour or two, that's when those winds will be at their strongest pretty quickly here tonight, folks. By about 6, 7 o'clock, those winds relax, and by tonight, at the very latest, these winds will be long over and done with. I do actually want to pull in for you a quick graphic, just because we have had some of these stronger winds for us here. And here's a look at the current winds. This is one of the graphics I meant to show you a few minutes ago. Fort Morgan, we had a 47-mile-an-hour wind gust a few minutes ago. That's the strongest I've seen so far today. Berkeley Pass, 45 miles an hour, but of course, top of Berkeley Pass is always a windy spot. Same with Loveland Pass. So not to discount those people driving over that, but those winds are certainly outliers. In Boulder and in Broomfield, we have seen some 41-mile-an-hour gusts over the last few hours or so. So again, it's right on that cusp of, I would say, between windy and breezy, but probably closer to windy for us there in the northern foothills. Again, we don't have long to go. Highs in the low 70s for us here in Denver for today. Those temperatures running a few degrees above average for this time of year. And I can tell you here in the 90s backyard, it's actually already warmed up to 72 degrees for us here in downtown Denver. So right around, and we're of course right around our high temperature for today. Some parts of the city right around 70, 71 right now. You get the idea. Low 70s, beautiful weather without the wind. Tonight we drop back into the upper 30s, easily chilly for us. Sunset, by the way, 7:53. Next, we are 1 week away here, folks. 1 week away from 8 p.m. or later sunset. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. 1 week from now, we'll be talking about our first 8 p.m. sunset of the year. We'll have those for a few months into, I believe, mid to late August is when we keep those 8 p.m. or later sunsets. So kind of nice thing to look forward to tomorrow. Temperatures similar to today. We will have increasing clouds through the day tomorrow and threat for some storms, especially late afternoon into the evening. It's the far eastern plains that'll have the greatest risk for seeing some severe weather. I was just, again, taking a kind of a deep dive look at those storms for tomorrow. There are some ingredients to play for some stronger storms on the far eastern plains. And we could get some of these shadow storms as far west as the I-25 corridor, but I'm really mostly concerned about the far eastern plains in terms of that risk for some of those strongest storms. That's where we're going to have the highest moisture values, and also the most instability will be in play out into, say, Yuma, Sedgwick, Phillips, Logan, and Washington counties. The storms develop a little later on in the day, so usually we talk about a kind of a 2 to 6 p.m. time window for those storms. Tomorrow maybe more like a 3 or 4 till about 8 or 9 sort of window. So this is, again, maybe a bit more of a later window in terms of those showers and storms. Mountains will get some light snow during the afternoon tomorrow, and that will continue throughout most of the day and into tomorrow night. Then by Thursday morning, we really clear things out pretty quickly here from this next storm system, and then we'll keep a quiet-ish look to the weather forecast for the next few days. Friday, Saturday, we do have some storms around. These are pretty isolated storms both those days. So I know, of course, Saturday, we're going to be talking about a lot of festivities with the Derby, Denver Derby Days, of course, downtown Denver. We got the Furry Scurry here in downtown Denver as well. Got a lot of kind of fun activities on Saturday. First weekend of May always feels like an extra fun time. Cinco de Mayo. And overall here, folks, don't let that Saturday forecast scare you too much. These are pretty isolated storms. We're certainly not talking about last weekend's washout. So that's great news. And we stay pretty mild and pleasant into next week. So pretty nice weather. It's mid next week, Wednesday, Thursday. That'd be probably the next time where I'd see the potential for some more impactful weather. But otherwise, a couple notes. I mentioned this yesterday, kind of worth repeating as well, with us now transitioning into May. By the way, May is our wettest month of the year on average here in Denver, and across much of the Front Range we average a little over 2 inches of precipitation in the month of May, and we can sometimes get that, of course, in the form of snow. It's more likely to come in the form of rain in the month of May, but I'd say every other year we get May snowfall on average here in Denver. Our average last freeze is May the 5th, and no tomatoes until after Mother's Day. So we are going to be talking about some pretty, hopefully, active weather over the next few weeks, because May is such an important month in terms of keeping things wet and keeping that ground kind of moist as we get into the into the summer months. June, July, August, we always get a couple of stretches, prolonged stretches, 7 to 10 days of drier weather, and it's extra important to get that moisture in May, because that kind of keeps in that soil moisture in place and keeps things fire-free, hopefully, through the summer months. But again, we'll track all that for you. But in the meantime, top line takeaways: breezy. I know right now those winds won't last too much longer. Then looking ahead to tomorrow, we do have some storms around for tomorrow afternoon. Those will be strongest in the eastern plains. Then isolated storms Friday and Saturday. Again, not a washout either day. I would say 10-20% chance of a storm either day in the metro area, and otherwise we should be pretty calm into the beginning to even middle part of next week. So one of those rare-ish calmer forecast for us in the Denver area. More details on this for you tomorrow at 9 News at noon. But in the meantime, for tonight, we'll have Chief Meteorologist Kathy Sabin in at 4, 5, 6, 9, 10 on the 9 News family of networks. Once again, I'm 9 News Meteorologist Chris Bianchi. Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Plus, and have a great rest of your day.